Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on in to the Blue Collar Psychiatrist. I am the Blue Collar Psychiatrist. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that's called Flip the Script. How many of you out there either have been single or are single at this time? That should include everybody. And when you were single, did you get a lot of unsolicited advice from other people, both single and married, as to how you should behave or how you should be able to attain a significant other in your life? I'm sure most of us have. But one of the most common suggestions from other people, so-called experts, street knowledge experts, is, well, you got to get your head on straight before you can expect to have a relationship. They heard that from somebody else, who heard that from somebody else, who heard that from somebody else, and so forth. But I'm a contrarian. I look at the opposite way of things. If you tell me up, I go down. If you tell me red, I tell you blue. If you tell me yes, I say no. And I always wondered, could it be just the opposite? Could it be that if you were able to find a compatible mate, that then your mind would be straight? You would have your everything together. When I was in practice, I had a lady under my care who lived with her sister. She was not married. She suffered from chronic depression. She had crying spells, loss of appetite, loss of weight, feelings of worthlessness, but no suicidal ideation, thank God. I saw her in my office a few times, and it became obvious to me that she needed more intensive treatment than just coming to the office once a week. I suggested to her and her sister that she could benefit by a short stay in a mental health unit at a general hospital where I was an attending physician. The sister drove her there, and once she got on the unit, she adjusted very well. She enjoyed the interchange with other people and the staff. She went to group therapy, had individual therapy, medication, and seemed to get better slowly but surely. However, I never suspected or never thought that she got to the highest level that she could attain. But at some point, you have to discharge the patient with instructions. And of course, I spoke to the sister and I told her, if she gets worse or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. 3 or 4 months later, I get another call from the sister. Blue collar, not green collar, blue collar. Got to tell you something. My sister's depressed again. Same set of symptoms. Poor appetite, poor sleep, crying spells, feelings of worthlessness, and other things and other symptoms that are consistent with chronic depression. And I treated her, and this scenario repeated itself multiple times. Every 3 or 4 months, the sister would call me and tell me that her sister, my patient, was down in the dumps again and very depressed. And she got better every time, but not better enough. And then I lost track of her. I didn't see her. It could have been 2 years, 3 years. At this point, I'm looking way back in time, and it's hard to remember exactly how long it was at which time I never saw her. And the sister never called me, so I figured nothing was wrong. And then about, let's say, 3 years later, I'm walking down the halls of the hospital, and I hear, "Blue collar, hey, blue collar." I'm looking around, and I go and I found where the voice was coming from. And I looked, and she said, "Blue Collar, don't you remember me? I'm your patient from several years ago." And then I looked at her. I barely recognized this woman. She had taken off about 15 pounds. She looked 10 years younger. She had a smile on her face. Her whole being was different. And I said to her, "Are you feeling well?" And she said, "I'm feeling very well." And I said, "Well, something has changed. What has changed?" And very sheepishly, she said to me, "Well, Blue Collar, I went up a couple hundred miles away to where my other sister lives. She introduced me to a man, and we seemed to hit it off. And we've been seeing each other on a steady basis. He's talking about coming down here and moving down here, or vice versa, or I may move up there because things are going so well." Of course, I was overjoyed, but also it was a case of being humbled because all the medicine, all the hospitalizations, all the therapies could not do what a good relationship did for this lady. And many psychiatrists, I will tell you, are very pompous and arrogant, thinking they have the keys to understanding all of human behavior. Well, I can tell you one thing that they didn't understand is that what we talked about at the very beginning, that sometimes finding the right person changes who you are up here, not the other way around. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to go out in that world and search and meet people. And as I said to you before in various other videos, I'm not a big fan of websites, but to go to various clubs, organizations of interest, and get out there and do things. Then you will increase your odds of meeting someone who would be right for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of this one particular case. And there are other cases that I could name that are similar to that. They're a little bit different, but they have the same lesson. Find the right person. Then you'll get your mind straight. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you to drink and drink abundantly from the fountain of life. See you next time.